morning, y'all, and welcome back to another very crafty vlog. It is so cold here in Canada. The car has to be on, but I promise we are going to get to Michael's shortly. We are in this vlog getting ready for Christmas. I love Christmas, and if you're crafty and do homemade gifts, homemade cards, you know you have to start early. So it is November 4th, I think, as I'm starting to film this vlog, and we are going to Michael's. We have a list. I don't often go out on my own. I am an anxious squirrely, but I'm feeling brave. We can do this, and you're coming with me. So I have my little list, including I looked up and found all the aisles that everything is in, so I know exactly where to go when we get in there. The things that say main aisle and wall have me a little spooked, especially because at my Michael's, it's impossible to find people that work there. It's so hard to actually get help finding things, but it's gonna be okay. And if we need help, we need help. It's not the end of the world. So we have our list. I am definitely in the market for stamps. I already know which ones. I want like rubber stamps and craft envelopes and paper. I already have cardstock. I know I talk so much about crafting with what you have, but I've been doing that so hard that I don't really have much anymore. So that is why we're going to Michael's. I feel like I'm shouting at you a little bit. I'm just trying to be heard over my poor car, trying to warm me up, but let's go to Michael's. I have very little faith in their felt supply for my felt ornaments. I've been checking once a week, every week for months since I started making them, and it seems like everybody else started making them too, which is great, but you can't find half the colors anymore. So we're gonna see what's going on there. Otherwise, I've got my wrapping paper, envelopes, stamps, and one of those little double-sided tapey things. I'm gonna try one for my cards because balling up Scotch tape, it's not working, but we're gonna get going. So let's go to Michael's. Oh, this is grim selections. And my hands are quite full. Oh my goodness, y'all, I stacked my hands way too full in there. Most definitely should have got like a cart or a basket, but I stuck to my list except for one thing, which isn't bad. It also adds up so quickly in there. I spent a little bit more than anticipated, but I got my big roll of craft, well, it's Scotch brown paper to draw and put stamps on. This was only $6.99. I feel like that's a pretty good deal given how thick it is. Anywho, we've got my little raft haul for hopefully the season. Hopefully won't need to go back there. As you can see, the felt was so like worsely picked over that I've ever seen. Actually, there's got to be a shortage of felt happening. I don't know, but I grabbed a couple of sheets for in the meantime, some browns that I can use for like cookie ornaments, and a green sheet because I don't have any like pine green, and they're only 69 cents a sheet, and I can get so many ornaments out of it, and I will use it. I got my envelopes that I was looking for. I didn't realize when I was looking online, all of the envelopes come with cards as well. So while I have cardstock at home, I guess I do want to try like cutting things out and making layers on my cards. So maybe use the cardstock to put on the brown. But I feel like the brown could make really cute gingerbread houses if I use my white gel pens at home. So this came with 10, which is not a great deal considering it was like $12. So I don't know, perhaps the dollar store would have craft envelopes. I'm not sure. I got double-sided tape, the little, like, it looks like a whiteout correction stick, but it's tape. I am very much looking forward to how this is going to work for both journaling, card making. I usually just use my like Scotch tape from the dollar store, ball it up, but it gets really clunky and chunky, and with mailing cards I just was hoping for something a little smoother. Then I got my Christmas stamps. I'm so excited. I'm new to stamping, very new to stamping. I know the glare is probably a little rough, but I thought these were really cute. I've got these stamps, which I think will be so nice for wrapping paper and cards, and I've got these ones. I love the deer in there. I think that's very precious. And then I got 2 ink pads. We already have black at home for our book stamps, but I got like a pine green and like a Christmas kind of ruby red. And then my one impulse purchase, it is washi tape. Okay, I finished 2 rolls of washi tape last night. All I have left is my fall pack. I don't have any like regular per se, and I guess I'm going for like a pinky Christmas theme? I don't know, for my cards at least. I thought these were just so stinking cute. The bows, the deer, the colors. I just love that. So I said, you know what? I have a coupon. It only works for one item, but still, I thought I'd treat myself. So that is my little Michael's craft supply run. And I am quite proud of myself that I mostly did stick to my list. Felt a little bit like a chicken running around with my head cut off, given my arm was like full. Anyhow, we're gonna head home now. I am not stopping anywhere else. This plaza that I'm in right now is dangerous because you wanna know what's in here? There's a Marshalls, there's a HomeSense, there's a Winners. Not that I go, but there's a Sephora, there's a Bouclair, like Canadian Tire. You know me and my Canadian Tire mice. So anyways, we're not going to tempt ourselves. We're going to get on home. I'm going to get into some comfies. I do need to start laundry, but I want to make a hot chocolate. Someone is pulling in next to me. And we're going to get crafting. The hot chocolate has been made. I am feeling quite festive and ready to have a look and a test of my stamps. I just realized on my bill that the stamps were actually buy one, get one free. So they were $12.99 a piece. So I saved $12.99, which is pretty darn good if I do say so myself. And I got to use my 30% off coupon on my little cards and envelopes. Now I know you can find stamps at the thrift stores too. I feel like whenever I'm looking for something is when I can never find it. You know what I mean? When I wasn't looking for stamps, I would always notice them. And now that I have been, I just haven't been able to find any. So, oh my gosh, these are so cute. I just love this one so much with the little deer, the bow and candy cane wishes, also very cute. And I love this big house. I think this will be a really good one for the front of a card or the center point on some wrapping paper for sure. Let's cut a little bit of paper here. The construction is so bad on my street today. I don't think we're gonna be able to film more than this with the constant beeping, but we're gonna give this a try anyhow. I also must say I have been so on stationary TikTok. Is there a technique to this? Oh, that is quite covered. Okay. Cute. No technique needed. Just dip and schmudge. Now can I get 2 out of 1? Faintly. The faint one kind of looks nicer actually. Anyhow, I've been on stationary TikTok and discovered this stationery store in Chicago called Paper and Pencil or Pencil and Paper. I can't quite remember. Very pretty. Some of these seem to hold a little bit more ink than others. This is large. I assume this is going to need some technique to pick up the ink. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm gonna get back to my point about paper and pencil soon, I promise. How pretty that is. I think I could use some work on getting an even inking of the stamp. Okay, circling back to what I was talking about first for a moment. Paper and Pencil in Chicago. It's a stationery store I discovered on TikTok while I was scrolling. They don't ship. It's in person only, which I love. I love that we gatekeep a little bit. I think that's important in this day and age. And I love it for the locals. However, a little sad for me because we don't really have independent craft or stationery stores here in my city. So Michael's is my only option. I would love to be able to support a small business and it's queer owned. They have such a good selection. But anyhow, we don't really have that option in my city, which is really unfortunate. But it looks so neat. The selection of things they have is so cool. Very much shows the dangers of the internet though, because suddenly I'm like, do I need a Delphonics pouch? Do I need a Delphonics utility pouch? Do I need a Sula pouch? Do I need the Dalton 1 mile tote? Which the answer is probably no, although now with all my stamps, I'm like, maybe I could. Maybe I could use one of them. Oh, but it gave me the stationery itch. However, in lieu of that, I'm going to appreciate what I have. I got what I needed that I don't have, and I'm going to fish around my house to see if there's something that I could organize my stamps in that I already have, because I'm sure there is. I actually might take my Peter Rabbit tea tin that I have on my bedside table. It stores like earplugs, but I don't really sleep with those anymore, so it is nice and big and wide. I think it might be the perfect size to store these stamps. So that might be what I do. I just can't get over the cuteness and how these look like little stamps. This is like very neat washi. The stamps work. They work. I am going to do a full vlog on Patreon of wrapping presents with me. I'll try and put in one of my YouTube vlogs closer to whenever I film that, preparing the wrapping paper with me and making some, because I think the challenge really is going to be cutting the right size of wrapping paper and then getting the stamps like evenly spaced, or figuring out how I want to do the stamps, because I would love to like cover the wrapping paper with the stamps, you know what I mean? Kind of space them out. And I'm like, do I want to do one with all deer? Do I want to do one with all bows? Do I want to mix them up? I don't know. I think we'll just have to see where the wind takes me, but I'm really pleased with how these are looking, especially for me having no idea how stamps work. I am kind of a do first, read about it later type of person. I am feeling so much more prepared for holiday season, making, crafting, whatnot. So that is our little Michael's trip this morning. Thanks for coming with me. If you live in Chicago, check out Paper and Pencil. Maybe I can live vicariously through you. But I'm gonna go hang up some laundry and I will talk to you guys soon, either later today or perhaps tomorrow, depending how I'm feeling. It's kind of my day off. I might just kind of lay in bed with my lap desk and work on making some cards there. Good morning, my friends. It is the next day. I just made myself my very last bag of pumpkin spice rooibos tea, which is so sad because I've been loving this flavor so much. Now I'm between the gingerbread or the chai maple pecan rooibos from 4 o'clock tea. So I don't know what will be my November tea. I know I'll try both by Christmas, but I am leaning more towards chai maple pecan. That feels very November. I think gingerbread we may save for December, but I'm making my Christmas cards. So far it's a much quieter day construction wise, and I've just been stamping some cardstock here so that I can tape it down to my cards. I've done some green on green, I guess, and some red on pink, and I think it's just gonna be really nice color dimension and textures with the brown craft paper cards. So that's what we're gonna be up to shortly. I am just having a comfy cozy pajama day. I do work at my regular job this evening, so just making the most of the day. So I am going to try and spin you around so that you can see how I am working on these cards. Also, a moment of honesty and trial and error. I did start out my cards by trying to stamp them directly, and I just feel like it wasn't giving what I wanted it to give. So that's where I had the idea of cutting up some cardstock, stamping it, and we're gonna tape these down and then add some washi tape to make it look all festive and cute. It is a little gloomy today, but I turned my overhead light off because it was just giving a bit of a weird glare. I did end up using this big Peter Rabbit tea tin for my stamps, and I think it works perfectly. I have this one face up just because I'm letting it dry after wiping it down, but I think this is the perfect little stamp holder, and I do want to add some more stamps to these. But we're going to test out this little double-sided tape runner. You can see too, the stamp just worked a lot better on this texture of paper rather than the craft paper. So we're not going to waste anything. We're just going to cover that up. I know not everybody is a card person. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you are. I think a homemade card is just so special. Overall, it's a lot less expensive than going out and buying new cards every year. And I will have these stamps. Let's try and get this even-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll have these stamps for the rest of my life to be able to use for my Christmas cards. Time to elevate this. Anywho, I just love a card. I love snail mail. Y'all know, I think it is so nice to get something in the mail other than bills, flyers, junk. I think I might use this washi tape for the green. I think that's gonna match better than the pinky pink. Although, did I do one with pink yet? No. I love cards. I love to display my cards for Christmas. I've seen some really neat things on Pinterest of folks that hang them along their garlands on their windowsills and along doorways. It's really beautiful, and I just think a handmade card is so special. I think that's so nice. Oh, I apparently already did the inside of this one with pink, so we're going for two very different vibes, and I think that's completely fine too. Now I have this wax seal with a V for Victoria, of course, and this can get a little bit dicey in the mail. And that is because when it goes through the mail sorting machines, it can rip off the wax seal. So a lot of people will wax seal their envelopes and then put it inside of another envelope. I'm thinking I might sign my cards with this year with a small bit of wax and put a little V there. It will make the cards heavier, but it will at least be safe. So I think that is going to be my plan. And do I have green or red wax? I think it's green. It's green or red. Every time I run out, I rotate between the two, but I think that'll be really nice. So let's get the rest of these taped down and then decide what else I want to put in them. I had someone ask me on Instagram recently what I'm asking for Christmas, since I give a lot of homemade gifts. And I think they were curious if I ask for homemade gifts as well. I don't really ask for much. I don't ask for gifts for anyone except my parents, who want me to have things that I need and could use, but like my partner and I, it's very much from the heart. And same with my friends who I make homemade gifts for. I don't expect anything in return, and they're well aware of that. And every year is different on who can afford to even, make gifts. So I don't ask. I think that my friends who are fellow crafters know how much I appreciate their craft and would love a handmade ornament or scarf or loaf of bread or pie myself. But to me, a handmade card in the mail is just as meaningful, and I love to surround my bed and my area with them to bring me joy. But what I am asking for from my parents, partner and I, actually, we have been wanting hoodies for the longest time, and there was a buy one get one free sale recently, and I told my mom, and so I know we're getting hoodies for Christmas, and we are going to use the heck out of those things and love them so much because we love to be comfy, cozy, snug as a bug in a rug at home. I asked for the Paddington one, and my partner opted for the green eggs and ham Dr. Seuss hoodie. So I know that's what we're getting from my mom for Christmas, and otherwise I kind of just try to ask for practical things, which I know might be boring to some people, but for me, it's things that I would enjoy anyways, and perhaps like elevated versions of things I would buy but wouldn't buy for myself, if that makes sense. For example, I never buy Lush for myself. If you saw my video in the summer, my mom, when I was sick, bought me some things from Lush as a little pick-me-up, but it's not something I would buy myself. So I told her closer to Christmas, if she wants to get me that banana shampoo again and the conditioner, that I would be so very grateful and happy with that. And you know what? I'm always gonna need shampoo and condish. So for me, it just feels like a practical gift and just something nicer than I would usually get myself. So that's like what I ask for. Otherwise, like, I don't have a Christmas list. I am just here for baking and getting together with my friends and having tea and making cards. And yeah, I know it probably varies at different phases of your life, or even just depending on your family. I have friends that are in their mid-30s whose parents still want a full-blown Christmas list to shop from, and I think that's totally cool too. Everyone is different, but for me, to answer that question, I don't really do a Christmas list. Holy crow, I think we have some rain moving in. Okay, I'm gonna have some tea and finish taping this one down, think about what I'm gonna do inside, and then we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I have actually made the executive decision to try a bit of a different card. I don't know how I feel about the colors yet, but I'm doing like a silver cardstock with a piece of brown craft paper, and I think I'm gonna switch up the design. I have this nice little snowflake stamp that I think would be pretty. I don't know if that's the only one I want to do though. I also have this 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly stamp. 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly in the middle, snowflake stamp down here. I think this is cute with the snowflakes. And then tape this on here. Now, what washi tape do I want to use on the sides? I think the green one that I had would probably look, that looks so pretty. Oh, this is so nice. I think that's pretty darling still. And I think I'm gonna line the inside with the same washi tape, which I have a decent amount of still, but I'm getting low on. I'm also interested to see if we get some like wintry holiday stamps. Usually Canada Post does like a Christmas and a Hanukkah, sometimes a Kwanzaa as well. So I am all for supporting our postal system now more than ever with this strike and supporting them. So we will definitely be buying some of their holiday stamps. This actually might be my favorite card. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I think this is really nice. And again, I'm gonna add more inside. I want to do some more cutouts and tape some textures in there. I just don't know yet, but this is the little insight into the start of my Christmas card journey. I hope you're enjoying this little crafty vlog so far. I really love making these and sharing what I'm crafting, especially in day-to-day life where like I have work today, I have other things to do, but instead of sitting and scrolling on my phone, I can work on making some holiday cards. Y'all are getting a jammy Vic craft update. I wasn't even gonna film this. I have a house coat on over my PJs. I have my heating pad on my lap. I'm fighting a very uncomfortable POTS flare, but the kind where when I was laying in bed, all I could think about is how sick and dizzy I feel. And I think it's the weather, because I was telling you guys earlier, it's the same day that it looked like it was gonna rain, and it is just overcast and gloomy. But let me show you what I'm working on, because I have been crafting. This is the setup. I'm watching Megan and Jordan from Love is Blind on the Vile Files. I love reality TV. Was it a dumpster fire of a season? Yes, but I can't be stopped. Anyhow, I'm not going to say who this is for because she might watch my YouTube videos, but this is for a friend and it is a tea bag bookmark. And I know the lighting is kind of horrendous. It was better before. I watched a tutorial on how to embroider flowers. They're not perfect, but it's my first go and I'm happy with it. This is a tea bag and then I'm going to leave a string. And I tried to do a little bow. It's going to be a flower, but I was like, kind of looks like a bow. Or the other part, like the handle of the tea bag. So I'm going to leave some string and then I'm going to blanket stitch around this. Whoa, maybe not that much string. Maybe that much string, and we'll sew that on with the blanket stitch. And y'all, I am struggling so hard right now. Forming words is hard, so I'm gonna keep watching my podcast and get this done. But I will show you. I will show you how it comes out when I'm done. I have finished the tea bag bookmark, and it is so stinking cute. Oh my gosh, the lighting is very difficult, but hopefully you can kind of see the little flowers there. This is how much length I gave for this. Can sit in a book or in a journal, and then this will flop out. Do I have a book here to show you? No, but we'll use one of my Christmas cards. So that can just pop in there, and then this can hang out like that, and I think that is so very sweet. So I am so excited to be able to make a few more of these to gift to my friends for Christmas. And it's so perfect because it's flat. I didn't stuff it or anything since you want it to be flat in a book. So they're able to actually be mailed with letter mail in my Christmas cards, which I'm very happy about. Super pleased with that little bookmark. However, I am fading fast. I think I might have to cancel work tonight again, unfortunately, which is hard emotionally. And I've just been having a really poor few weeks with my health and haven't been able to go to work, but I'm going to climb into bed, drink some of my water, going to pop this in with my other homemade gifts, and I will probably talk to y'all tomorrow. Good morning, y'all. It is the next day. It is Thursday morning. I just had therapy this morning and figured I would start the vlog for the day. I just went to the library and my copy of Mooncakes arrived, which is our Patreon, Discord, book club read over on Fable. That's a lot of different platforms and words. This is what we're reading for November. It's a graphic novel. I'm so excited to dive into this later today. I feel like I've been in a bit of a reading slump and life gets so busy this time of year that I thought that a graphic novel would be perfect for November. Especially we just read Twilight in October, which is a bit of a longer book. So starting my day with the library and therapy. I'm feeling okay today. Therapy was a lot to unpack of just accepting me for where I am at this point in my life with all of the challenges that have been presented. And we're gonna head home now and have some lunch because I think it's like, oh my gosh, it's almost noon. My maple pecan tea should be coming in the mail today. And I feel like there's one other thing. Oh, I wanted to maybe make another tea bag bookmark so that I have that ready to go for Christmas. So we will see where the wind takes me, and let's head home. It is time to work on the analog menu. I am home. I've clearly got into my comfy cozies. I'm waiting on my maple pecan chai tea to come, and I cannot wait to have a cup. This is my analog menu so far, though. It's essentially just a little cardstock that I got from the dollar store that I've organized into appetizers, mains, and desserts of ideas of things that I can do that don't require my phone and I can do offline. So I've added some washi tape and stickers, but I've got my gel pens here and I just want to add some little doodles, my pencil crayons, maybe add some vines to make it a little more fun. I like to just add a little bit of pizzazz to whatever I can in my life. So that's what we are getting started with now. I think that whatever we can do that helps to get us off our phones is what we should do. And if making a little visual reminder can help you, then why not? Even if all you have is a pen and paper, you don't need pencil crayons, you don't need gel pens. They're all just extras. And I think this afternoon, I was about to say evening, I guess it's afternoon, I think I'm going to try and read Mooncakes. I want to read it all in one sitting. It's a graphic novel and usually I can do those in one sitting so that I can come up with some questions for the reflection section on the Patreon book club. I have just been in such a reading slump. I don't know what is going on. I don't think I've even finished a book within the last month, which is completely fine. Nothing is about numbers to me anymore. I very much intentionally deleted my Goodreads reading goal about a year ago or so. Last year I decided that was not in my best interest. I don't want reading to be about data collection. Everything online collects enough data about us, and it's why I am debating getting rid of Goodreads altogether in general too. I just want reading to feel magical again and not like there's any pressure and expectations. So I am hoping that I can enjoy reading for what it is again and not feeling like there's just a pressure to finish a book and whatever it might be. But I hope that you all are being kind to yourself this, I mean, it's still fall, I guess, fall and winter this season. It is getting dark out so early, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere. And I know a lot of us can start to struggle with our mental health, and just reminding yourself that you are worthy of taking care of yourself, however that needs to look. And if it means saying no to more things and prioritizing yourself, that is okay too. I personally love this time of year. I think that the dark is just permission to say no more and to be a little bit less accessible, and I really value and appreciate that, but I can totally understand that not everyone does, and despite appreciating it and enjoying it, it doesn't mean it's not hard. Very cute. I have finished my analog menu. I'm happy with how it turned out. It's nothing fancy, but that's the joy of arts and crafts, is it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be worthy of being in a museum. I think I want to make another felt tea bag though. I have one other person in my life who loves tea and loves reading, and I think would really appreciate it. So I will show you how I make those, and it's actually easier than you might think. I'm almost out of my felt color that I like to use for tea bags. Like I said, felt, and you saw, has been sold out. This color is so hard to find, this like oatmeal color. But I think we'll have enough to make one more tea bag. Oh yeah, we'll be fine. We'll definitely have enough there. And then I have all of my embroidery thread in my little envelope, my little felt envelope that I made myself. And I'm gonna be so honest, this fabric marker that I got, it still shows. It doesn't like disappear. I don't know if it's just washable, air and water soluble. Okay. Air tells me it should just disappear, but I don't know, it doesn't. If you have advice, let me know. Someone said they use like soapstone and that works. It's less of a concern on dark felt, but with light felt, it shows a bit more. But we're just going to trace the shape. We have our little spots. I'm going to use my fabric scissors to get these cut out and get the rest of our supplies out. I'm hoping this is enough green embroidery floss. I'm just using 3 strands here. You can just break it apart, and we're going to do the pretty side of the felt and not the side with a bit of purple. And then you can just embroider whatever you want on your tea bag, onto your tea bag. I'm just going to do some little flowers. I have just been loving learning new things and having faith in myself that I can learn new things. I think it's really easy to see how perfect people's crafts look online, and we have to remember that they have spent not even just hours or days, but oftentimes weeks and years and sometimes decades perfecting fiber arts and their crafts, and that you have to start somewhere, and that somewhere does not need to be perfection. I think that's really important to remember. So often we get discouraged starting a craft where we're like, oh, but it doesn't look like how it did on Pinterest, and it will in due time. So much about starting a new craft is having patience and learning and knowing and remembering that it's okay to make an error. It's okay to make a mistake, mess up, and try again. The world needs a little bit more patience in general. We're in such a culture of convenience and urgency and high expectations. I mean, you can order pretty much anything online and have it delivered the next day, but with crafts and hobbies and skills, it's not as black and white. I think it's really good for us to try new things and learn new things, and to maybe not be very great at it at first. I also took note of the time. It was 12:53 when I started this, so we're gonna see what time it is when I finish, but I also think there's no rush. I'm just curious how long this might take if I am improving on my skills. So I am going to finish this greenery, and then we will reconvene when it's time to add the little flowers. Stems and leaves are done. The back looks a mess, and that's fine. That's how it's meant to look. Now I'm just going to try and separate out 3 pieces of thread. Now I'm just going to embroider on some little flowers. What kind of flowers are they? I have no idea. But it looks cute. It's the tea bag felt magical kind of flower. So whatever you want to put, or maybe your really talented at embroidering words, putting someone's name on one of these or their initials would be, I think, super, super cute. I am just gonna get those flowers embroidered on. It is time to blanket stitch. I have finished up here the flowers and I ended up doing a little bow. I think it turned out quite cute there for the little tag. So I'm gonna blanket stitch this, and basically once I'm done blanket stitching around the tea bag, I just leave a trail of string, knot it off, and then blanket stitch this little holder, and it all comes together. I am going to get stitching. And then also I'm gonna do a little bit of plant care. And I've got our tea bag stitched and just going to quickly finish blanket stitching around the little tie. I am all done. I think this is my favorite one yet. I love how this little bow turned out. There is the final craft. It's hard to get it all in frame, but you can kind of see there how it looks. I think it's just so darling. I really want to make one of these for myself too. I love how this just goes in the pages and this gets to flop over the book. But I'm going to tidy up my desk and little crafting area now, and I think I'm going to go read mooncakes until my tea arrives and then make a chai maple pecan tea and just enjoy some quiet reading time on this beautiful Thursday. I will let you guys know how the book is once I finish it, but from what I've heard from some of the folks in the book club that have already started it, that it is just a heartwarming read. Good morning, my friends. It is now Friday. It is another gloomy, rainy day. So if it's a little bit dark, that is why it is indeed 9 a.m. I have my tea. My new tea came in the mail, my chai maple pecan rooibos. That's so many words, by 4 o'clock, and it is so good. I did have a mug of it yesterday, and it is nutty. It is sweet, but not like super artificially sweet. So I am quite pleased with that. And I just wanted to update you a little bit on what's been going on. I did indeed finish Mooncakes. That was a read it in one sitting type of book for me. Mooncakes was so wonderful and inclusive and magical and perfect for November. So I really enjoyed that. And I am hoping this weekend to make some progress on my knitting. And I don't know if I've actually shown you my current knitting project. I started knitting a headband with the Drops Air. This is what I have so far. So I have a decent little chunk knit here, just in a little 1x1 rib. And this yarn is so soft. I cannot wait to be done this. This is going to be for myself. I'm actually hoping today to record a video for Patreon, a little knit with me and Q&A at the same time. There's just so much construction noise. Oh my gosh, a very large hawk just flew outside my window. There's just a lot of construction noise today, and this is the only room I can record in right now, which like isn't where I typically like to record my sit down videos because there's not great lighting. But I think this weekend I'm just going to be kind of plugging away at my knitting. We're gonna go to the post office later today to get some stamps, which I have seen they have the Christmas stamps out and they are so stinking cute. Look, in the Canadian Christmas stamps have a fox and a Christmas tree. I think they usually come out with an American Christmas stamp too. I don't know if those are out yet. We're gonna have to see. I otherwise might just overpay for postage a bit and use 2 Canadian stamps for my American cards because they are so cute. But gonna get some letters and Christmas cards in the mail. I know it seems early, but the postal system here is very backed up from the Canada Post strike. So I would much rather folks get them and have them for all of December rather than get them too late, which like, better late than never, but still. I think I'm just gonna watch some Christmas movies and really lean into it. And I know a lot of folks don't understand why some people decorate so early and kind of get in the spirit. And for me, it helps me feel joy and it doesn't harm anyone. And for that, I will continue to celebrate early. The days are so dark here in Canada. I feel like we're already into our gray months, which is just something that happens in the late fall and all through winter, where we don't get much sun. Like this whole week as I've been recording, I feel like I've been like, it's gloomy, it's rainy, it's gray. And once it starts to snow down here in the south, at least in Canada, we don't get snow that sticks a whole lot. We get dumpings that last a week or two and then it melts and then it's gray and then it's slush and then there's salt. I love the lights. I love the ambiance of our Christmas tree and our mini Christmas tree and our decorations that light up as well. It just makes it feel very cozy. So I am happy to have my tea, to be able to work on my knitting, and to watch my silly little Hallmark movies. So that is what I'm going to be getting up to this weekend, and I think I'm going to wrap up the vlog here for now and then get started again on Monday. I know I missed a week, so this week was kind of just getting back on track and sharing with you little tidbits of crafting throughout my week, and we will see where next week takes us. I'm really hoping to work on some Christmas garland once I get some more construction paper. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you got some inspiration of some crafts that you can incorporate into your days, or some Christmas cards perhaps. As always, be kind to yourselves. It is a very weird world out there, and the world needs more kindness and patience, and I will talk to you next week.